chapter number 9. We have to begin chapter number 9 today. So we will begin that. Before that, let us quickly offer prayers, Mangala Charana. Kindly join me. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamadam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitanscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mokam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Lankayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarina Hare Krishna. Let's quickly offer our prayers to 6 Goswamis. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipunam Sadharma Samsthapakau Lokanam Hitakarinam Tribhuvane Manyam Sharanyakarau Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nande Namattalikau Vande Rupa Sanatana Dhagurgau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnanakarmadhyanavrtam Anukulyena Krishnano Shilanam Bhaktiruttama Sarvopadhivi Nirmuktam Tadbharatvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktiruchyate. So in the last session, we were learning chapter 7, we completed. Yes, yeah. And then we went across the huge list of offenses, chapter number 8. It actually describes the 19th limb of the 64, among the 64 devotional principles. So we have seen so far the 64 items, the categorization of them, the first 20 items, they are like the doorway to enter, and the remaining 44, they actually describe the other limbs. So in this regard, we had seen this important shloka, which says that the first 3 out of the entire 64 are like the actual keys to enter the bhakti. They are Adav Guru Padashrayah, accepting the shelter of a Guru. Shri Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam, receiving the teachings and formal initiation. And third, serving that Guru, Vishrambhena Guru Seva, with great faith and trust. So they are like the ways to enter the bhakti. Practically, bhakti doesn't begin without them. Then we saw chapter number 7, in which the first 18 limbs were described. There were big list of them. We had seen them. And chapter number 8, which was the last one we saw. Okay, we have seen all these important principles. I will skip over them. Yeah. We had seen chapter 7 describing the first 18 of those items. And then in chapter 8, the 19th principle, which is actually avoiding the offenses. Very important. The whole chapter is about this one principle only. There are two types of offenses. What are they? And how do we define them?
Nama Parad and Seva Parad.
Nama and Seva. So what is Nama Aparad? What is Seva Aparad? Yes. Simple. It can be.
Prabhuji, Seva Aparad is like when you are doing worshiping or going to the temple in front of the deities, how to, what to avoid and what not to avoid.
Yeah, the offenses that happen in relation to the service to deities. That is called Seva Aparad. Seva actually specifically refers to the service to deities. And Nama Aparad is offenses in relation to chanting of the holy name, Nama. Right? Among them, is there any more serious, less serious, something like that? Any of you recollect? Which among them is more serious?
Nama Parad more serious, bro.
Nama Aparad is more serious. In fact, that shloka also we had seen, is it not? Seva Aparad is less serious than Nama Aparad, but yet we should not be neglectful in the worship of deities. The chanting of holy name is so powerful that it can eradicate the sins and also the Seva Aparads. Chanting of holy name is so powerful. At the same time, one should not take undue advantage of chanting of holy name. One should not be neglectful in chanting of the holy name and cause offenses. And if one is spending holy name, then actually person doesn't have any way to correct that. So it is so serious, actually. One should rectify one's offenses that may happen in relation to holy name. So that we had seen in chapter number 8, there were big list of all those offenses. In fact, it is told in the Shastras that the heart actually, which doesn't melt on chanting the holy name of Lord, is sure that there are offenses infested in that. As soon as one chants the holy name, the heart actually should melt, because that's the nature of the jiva, and that's the nature of holy name. But if that is not happening, it is only because of the offenses. This is told in Srimad Bhagavatam. Tadashma saram hridayam batedam yad grahyamanair harinama jheyai. As soon as one recites the nama, the heart should actually melt. If it is not, the tears are not flowing, that means surely there are offenses. So we can all understand that our situation is at the offense stage. Is it not? So what is the way out, actually? The way out is to first understand what are those offenses and very consciously cultivate not to commit them. So sometimes these symptoms of melting of heart or tears from the eyes may be displayed by people even artificially also. So they are not the real symptoms of whether offenses are there or not. The real symptom is that one is attracted to Lord Krishna very strongly and one becomes detached from material enjoyment. That is the actual symptom of absence of aparadhas. So this is also told in this regard. So now practically let us now enter chapter number 9. Last time we had seen chapter 8. There were big list. There was a list of 32 offenses from supplementary Vedic literature, that is Agama Shastras. Then there was another list of close to 29 offenses from Varaha Purana. These two lists, 32 and 29 offenses, number of offenses. That's all related to seva aparadha. There was also a little more other quotations. And then there was listing of 10 offenses which may happen in relation to holy name. Those offenses we may be more familiar because usually in the temples it is recited in the morning, is it not? And as a daily practice, it is important to be reminded of them before chanting. So now let us enter the chapter number 9. Chapter 9 is titled as Further Considerations of Devotional Principles. The first one among them is blasphemy. Blasphemy. So the principle number 19 was Nama and Seva Aparadha Varjanam. That is avoiding the offenses in relation to the service and in relation to holy name. There was a mention of not offending devotees. In fact, the very first offense in relation to holy name is one should not tolerate, one should avoid, one should not blaspheme, basically, the devotees who are preachers of holy name. Now, that one offense is so important that it becomes a very separate limb itself. Blasphemy. So, Srila Prabhupada describes that. Can someone read this? Go on reading fully. One should not.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
One should not tolerate blasphemy of the Lord or his devotees.
Yeah.
In this connection, in the 10th canto, 74th chapter, verse 40 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaja, "My dear king, if a person, after hearing blasphemous propaganda against the Lord and his devotees, does not go away from that place, he becomes bereft of the effect of all pious activities."
See, it is so dangerous to offend Vaishnavas, that is, blaspheme Vaishnavas. It is even considered very dangerous to even hear the blasphemy of Vaishnavas done by others. One should not even hear the blasphemy. Forget about doing the blasphemy oneself. So one should not even hear, one should not tolerate. What does this mean, not tolerate? This is seen in the lives of great devotees. Prabhupada will describe that. So Shukadeva Goswami basically says that one should not stand hearing the blasphemy of Supreme Lord and his devotees. If one does it, it is destructive to one's devotional progress. So in Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, the 8 verses composed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is told that one should be tolerant like a tree, right? One should tolerate all kind of insults, all kind of ill treatments. So that is told for oneself. But if something is happening to a fellow devotee, one should not tolerate. One should stand to stop such kind of ill treatment to Vaishnavas. This was shown by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only. So Srila Prabhupada quotes that example. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who told Trinadapi Sunichi Karorapi Sahishmana. One who told it, when he heard that his devotee, Lord Nityananda, was offended by Jagai and Madhai, he ran to stop it. He ran to, in fact, punish those who were causing that offense. So this is very important to note. So Prabhupada writes here, it shows that. Can you read this, Prabhu?
Yeah. It shows that a Vaishnava may be very tolerant and meek, foregoing everything for his personal honor. But when it is a question of the honor of Krishna or his devotee, he will not tolerate any insult.
He will not tolerate when it is question of his master, Supreme Lord Krishna, or his worthy of worship, the devotees of Lord Krishna. So one should not tolerate, one should not be tolerant there. One should be tolerant when there are offenses or insults to oneself. This is shown by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what does it mean not tolerate? What can one do? Can one beat them up? Can one strongly object them? Can one punish them? Like the way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called off the chakra. Like that, what should one do? So Prabhupada quotes from some Puranic scripture, shloka. What are the ways when we hear any offense, what one should do? Read this. There are 3 ways.
There are 3 ways of dealing with such insults. If someone is heard blaspheming by words, one should be so expert that he can defeat the opposing party by argument.
That's the first way. The first way is immediately stop them, question them, defeat their words. Immediately stop them. Like there is an instance in Sri Ramayana when Lakshmana is doubting Bharata. When Lakshmana is considering that Bharata is ill-motivated and he's speaking, I think this was all his plan to take out the kingdom from you, O Lord. This is happening actually at, what is that place? The Lord's first stays there. It's just outside Ayodhya. Very famous place. I'm forgetting its name. Chitrakoot, correct. Chitrakoot. Thank you. Chitrakoot. So when Bharata is coming towards Chitrakoot to meet, and Lakshmana sees, he says that, yeah, I understand why is he coming. He's speaking some insult, blasphemous words towards. Lord Rama immediately stops him. I know actually who is he. I have seen him very closely. He doesn't have any such impurity even to the trace. So like that, one should be immediately stopping such a talk. If one is unable, continue, if he is unable.
Yeah. If he is unable to defeat the opposing party, then the next step is that he should not just stand there meekly, but should give up his life.
One should give up his life. One cannot stand there bearing the insults. One should give up his life. See, why it is so strongly told? Because the very mentality of disrespect towards devotees, when it creeps in, it takes several lifetimes sometimes to come over that. Yeah. So one should never ever see any Vaishnava disrespectfully. And such kind of talk also is very dangerous. Continue reading, Prabhu.
Yeah. The third process is followed if he is unable to execute the above mentioned 2 processes. And this is that one must leave the place and go away.
Go away. One must not stand there. Must not stand there. I remember in Srila Prabhupada's time, there was one devotee who was so strictly following this. I'm talking about His Grace Jayananda Prabhu. Very, very veteran devotee. In fact, a great role model for all of us to follow. He was the one pioneer behind Sri Jagannath Rath Yatra, actually. Is it not? We keep his photo. Srila Prabhupada told that every Rath Yatra should begin by remembering him, how he started the Rath Yatra practically in ISKCON. So he was so strongly following this principle. Whenever someone would speak something ill against other devotee, he would immediately stop that devotee. And if he finds that that devotee is, you cannot stop him talking, then he would leave that. So if it was told that if one wants to have association of Jayananda Prabhu, one should not talk about other devotees in a disrespectful. So he was such a strong follower. In fact, the fanatic we are to follow this, it is better. It's better to be fanatic here, to not offend Vaishnavas, to not tolerate hearing the offenses of Vaishnavas. So when we hear something ill against a Vaishnava, what we should do on a more practical basis, actually, we should direct that person who has that ill feeling towards someone senior. If we are not able to handle that person's comment, if we are not able to stop that person's comment, if we are not able to give a solution or help him see in a better light, then we should actually direct him. Actually, better is to talk to some senior. I am not proficient in this. I am not aware of what is this. Better you talk there and this. Let's not pollute each other's consciousness. So better is to stop that talk, because we don't know. Why to talk in ignorance and cause offense and harm each other's devotional practice, is it? So like this, if a devotee does not do any of the above mentioned three process, he is said to be, he falls down. It's mentioned here. So this is the 20th principle. Yes, 20th? Yeah. 20th principle. This is Shri Krishna Bhakta Ninda Asahishnuta. You see, the word is told. Shri Krishna Tad Bhakta Vidvesha Vinindadi Asahishnuta. To be non-tolerant towards Vidvesha, criticism, towards either Krishna or towards his devotees. We can see that, in fact, when in Ramayana, another instance here, it's mentioned that when Shurpanakha was criticizing at once Sita, Mother Sita, she was criticizing. Another time she was criticizing Lord Rama himself when she was directed to Lakshman, and Lakshman guided him to there. Then she criticized Lakshmana, and she in fact went on to harm Sita Devi. That's when they could not just tolerate. Rama told, stop her, punish her. So Lakshmana, he punishes her by cutting her nose. So one should not tolerate criticism. Whenever devotees would bring, or some people outside who are not followers of Srila Prabhupada would bring in criticism against his Western followers, Prabhupada would always stand to defend them. There would be many types of criticisms which people would bring, outsiders would bring to Prabhupada. Oh, these people, they don't know proper behavior. They don't know proper pronunciation. They don't know how to, properly dress, how to talk, how to, behave properly. When they would come criticizing, Prabhupada would say, actually, you see, they have taken devotional service in such good faith. They have sacrificed so much. They are learning. But do not criticize them. Prabhupada would always take the side of his devotees. You know that famous thing. Someone came to criticize their pronunciation. Prabhupada told, no, their pronunciation or their enunciation is so perfect. You ought to talk about pronunciation. That is not so important. So Prabhupada would always stand to defend these devotees, so sincerely following his instructions. Actually. This is the principle number 20. Principle number 21. Someone else would like to read? Tilaka and Tulasi beads. So
Yes,
wearing
Prabhuji,
that.
I can read.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Kindly read fully in the Padma Purana.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah, any
Yeah, continue, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. In the Padma Purana, there is a statement describing how a Vaishnava should decorate his body with tilaka and beads. Person who put tulsi beads on the neck, who mark 12 places of their bodies at Vishnu temple with Vishnu's symbolic representation, the 4 items held in the 4 hands of Lord Vishnu, conch, mace, disc, and lotus, and who have Vishnu tilka on their forehead, are to be understood as the devotees of the Lord Vishnu in this world. Their presence make the world purified, and anywhere they remain, they make that place as good as Vaikuntha.
Okay. Actually, from here on, very interestingly, there will be some specific practices which devotees should follow. Like here, there is applying tilak, wearing tulasi beads. Next one is accepting the flower garlands offered to the Lord. After that, dancing before the deity, offering pranamas to the deity. Like this, there will be many. So here, sometimes we get this question, it is told that just by doing this, one will be like just by clapping in Sankirtan, one will get rid of so many sinful reactions. Just by walking behind the Lord in the Ratha Yatra procession, what kind of benefits he gets. Just by seeing the Lord on the Rath, he will be actually liberated practically. So such kind of promises are made in the Shastras. Now, sometimes we may wonder, what is the meaning of these promises? Are they factual? Are they told to kind of advertise? What is the truth? Anyone? Because now you will get a lot of list of them. Every limb of devotional service we read now on will have such statements. It's better that we discuss it before we enter that kind of reading. What do you think?
Can you repeat the question, Prabhuji?
My question is that in the Shastras, you will find several promises. Like if one claps in the Kirtan, if one takes bath in Mother Ganga, if one wears tilaka, if one goes behind the procession of the Lord, if one just goes to do pradakshina of the temple, he will get such wonderful benefits. Like he will go back to kingdom of God. He will not take again birth, like this kind of promises. So
to awaken the consciousness, Prabhuji.
To awaken the consciousness, you have to explain what does it mean.
Prabhuji, every person has some sort of Krishna consciousness inside,
Okay.
but they need a proper motivation to bring it out.
Proper
So
motive.
maybe through such sentences, for example, if someone says, okay, if you pull the rath, you will get liberated. Maybe a normal jiva gets some sort of motivation or temptation, maybe in my life, but still, see, this small act from me, maybe I'll get moksha. Or, Vaikuntha Ekadashi, people will say if you take Uttara Darshan, so you'll get moksha.
Correct.
So
Yes.
that small temptation that will awaken inside the heart, and that will awaken the
So
Krishna
such kind of desire will awaken, you mean?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. And anybody else would like to add?
Prabhuji, even the devotee association.
One at a time. I can't understand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam.
Yes.
Prabhuji, one side, even in many lectures, we are hearing that it's very easy to attain Krishna. And another side, we are in some speeches, they are saying that it's very difficult to reach Krishna. Even Radharani sometimes, and great devotees, they cannot, they cannot fulfill the desires of Krishna. How can you? At that time, sometimes I become low, Prabhuji, and at the same time, we have to inspire ourselves to progress in bhakti. I mean, in the satsangs, sometimes we are hearing this kind of speeches, Prabhuji, which are true. But
yeah, that's a different question. But yeah, nonetheless, it is connected. That how do we understand?
And these all true.
The scripture. Yeah.
I think these are true, no, Prabhu. It's not a false promise. It's a true.
I'm asking it. I'm just wanting to understand what
I
has
think,
all
I'm just thinking.
what has
I think they're true, Prabhu. They're true statements.
They are true
They
statements.
are true. We are thinking they are true, and we are trying our best to
make it
we are
true.
trying our best, Prabhu.
Make it true.
Prabhu,
Getting doubt and following all the things which were told by the Shiksha Gurus and Diksha Gurus and Maharaj and all.
Yes.
But at the same time, sometimes, honestly speaking, sometimes feeling low. We cannot do
That's what
like that.
Correct. That's true. That feeling comes in our heart. Yes, Prabhu is speaking. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, assuming Prabhu, this all one surrender to Krishna only, Prabhu. That is a condition. So it's not that, okay, without surrendering, if you just wear tulsi beads or just go to Vaikuntha Dwara, you will not get anything. This assumption is the first condition I'm thinking. Unless you surrender to Lord Krishna, then all these are applicable. The if condition is, the big if is there.
Big if is there. So they are conditions like star mark conditions, is it?
Any faith also, no, Prabhu? Faith is also one condition.
Faith is there. Okay. So if that should have been there, it should have been told, na, that there are some conditions like this.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
No advertisement has can be without that asterisk, right? They are also meant to specify that what conditions they have. Yes, some other Prabhu, last input. Maybe
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I feel that these are all true, correct. Krishna is so merciful that he has given so many options to people that you do whatever you do in my service, I will take care of you.
Correct. So yes, Krishna is giving that promise. That's true, and it's an expression of his mercy or his affection. Anna Prabhu, that's what you mean.
Yes.
Okay. Prabhu. Actually, on this matter, I just explored a little more and wanted to present it here because we can appreciate this principle more. Because like this, we will find a lot about bhakti, especially in this particular book. So, how are we to understand the scriptural promises? Are we to see them as exaggerations or advertisements, like the material advertisements we see? Are we to see them? So here are some pointers to think about it. So first of all, they are facts. They can become truth, provided we need a specific attitude in our heart. We cultivate a specific attitude in our heart. They can be brought into reality if we cultivate a specific attitude. What is that attitude? We'll see that actually. So they are practically facts. They are expressed by Lord and his devotees to inspire us, like one of the Matajis was just telling, to awaken. Yes. So that by seeing them, yeah, I wanted this to happen in my life. And this can be made to happen if I do this. So then one will take to that practice wholeheartedly, right? He really wanted to go to Vaikuntha. And when he sees that, oh, if I only observe very faithfully this Vaikuntha Ekadashi Vrata, if I follow chanting of Vishnu Nama on that day, and do some seva for Lord Vishnu and enter through the Vishnu Dwara, whatever, Moksha Dwara, then I can attain. Oh, really wonderful. So that is meant to inspire them to invest their heart in bhakti. So it is important to first of all understand that these promises are truths. They are not exaggerations. To consider like this itself is listed as an offense actually. Is it not one of the offenses in the holy name? What is that? To consider the glories of holy name to be imagination. Is it not? So one should not think that they are only to advertise. Krishna has spoken like that. In the Shastras, it is just exaggerated, overrated like that. No, it is not. They are possibilities. They are factual. What is required is a specific attitude from us. Why is that required? Actually, we should never approach them with a material mentality of, oh, I want this. If I just get this, like the way we do it for any festival offers, is it not? We are greedy. We want something, and that is promised in that particular sale, season sale or whatever. So we want to exploit that offer. So in that sense, we approach it with a calculation, with an exploitative mentality. So one should not approach them with that. When it is told, oh, if you just chant one name of Krishna on this particular day, say Kartika, you get the fruits of chanting so many holy names. So that means what? I just chant one holy name in Kartik and just sit quiet after that. such kind of mentality is not favorable. It is exploitative mentality. So one should not approach like that. At the same time, there are instances in Shastra which show that the Lord can bestow his mercy even in such kind of situations, like Ajamila, who chanted just one name of Lord Narayana. He was blessed with what kind of result? He was practically given a second chance. And he attained Lord after utilizing that second chance properly. Is it not? So one can never restrict, one can never legislate the mercy of Lord by some conditions. No. Mercy of Lord is always unconditional. We can never say this person deserves the mercy. No, mercy can never be said to be, this mercy has to come here. No, we cannot legislate. Krishna's mercy is in his free will. It has no boundary, no conditions, no limitations. So Krishna can empower, can bless through that one simple act. We will see such kind of examples a lot now in our reading. At the same time, what is actually bringing a purification or growth in love towards Lord is consistent practice. What is the motive of giving those promises? Is to make the practice steady, is to empower that devotional practice with faith, Shraddha. That is the goal, to inspire one to take to this kind of practice, a faith-laden, consistent practice. And that will be so powerful, actually. We can see that in the pastime of Ajamila, at the end of the pastime of Ajamila, there is a very clear verse. Mriyamano harer nama grinan putropacharitam. This Ajamila, he chanted at the time of death, Mriyamana. He chanted addressing his son. He did not address Lord Krishna. He chanted only at the time of death. He chanted that to addressing his son, not with faith, not with love. Now at the end, next part of the shloka says, Grananaputropacharitam Ajamilopyagadhama Kimuta Shraddhaya Grinan. Just by this kind of practice, Ajamila could go back to Vaikuntha. Imagine what is in store for someone who practices or chants holy name regularly. If he chants holy name, addressing Krishna with great love and faith, Shraddhaya, Kimuta Shraddhaya Grinan. So this is the the purpose behind such kind of promises. To instill that kind of a consistent practice, to instill that kind of a Shraddha. So one should not see these promises in an exploitative view. If one sees with exploitative view, actually any devotional process or progress, it takes lifetimes, because if we have to show mathematics to Krishna, Krishna will show super mathematics. How much it takes for us to just even make 1 inch of devotional progress. How much we are so unqualified. So one can never approach that. That's why the whole attitude needs to be rectified. When one immediately comes in that right attitude, one can see that progress becomes so perceivable. One can see that. So what is important is that one should desire the promise which is told in those statements. If one desires, yes, I want to go to spiritual world. Yes, I want to serve Lord Krishna. Yes, I want to be liberated from this material miseries. They are so much great impediments to practice devotional service. If one is strongly desiring them, and then he is doing those devotional acts which are told in those promises, then Krishna will award them. If you don't have that desire for the end result, what will one do? Krishna will not enforce. Na? Like if we ourselves don't desire, why will Krishna enforce something which we don't desire? That's against the free will of the jiva. Interesting. So Krishna will not enforce these promises over our free will. So the point is, in summary, these scriptural promises are factual. They are not exaggerations. But what is necessary to see them in fact in front of us is our specific attitude of heart. It should not be calculative or exploitative. It should be inspired to take to consistent faith-laden practice. One should desire the promise. One should desire the result of that promise. What is assured by that promise. If one has that, then they can be seen in truth in front of one's eyes. As it happens actually. You see, when Ajamila chanted, he was given a second chance. And when in the second chance, that is, he goes to Haridwar, you may remember that past time. He associates with devotees. He practices very sincerely. He develops that great desire to go back to Godhead. That's when the next time he sees those same people, those very attendants of the Vaikuntha plane, he sees them again. That time they take him to spiritual. Is it not? So the point is, one should actually use his free will properly. These promises are actually doorways to great possibilities if one properly sees them. So now onwards, in the description in Bhakti Rasam, in the Nectar of Devotion book, we will see many such statements. Like, here there is one statement. In the Skanda Purana, it's coming here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Just I'll make this point and I'll take a question. Here there is one statement, you see. One who is decorated with tilak or gopi chandan, with marking their bodies with holy names, Rama, Krishna, like that, are never approached by Yamadutas. Wow, such a nice statement. Let me put tilak, let me put gopi chandan, and then let me decorate my body with the holy names of Lord. But if he's thinking, with not really desiring, okay, if I'm not going to be in Yamaloka, then what I should do? Say, suppose if I'm going to be liberated from this world, what I should do after that? If I don't have desire for life after liberation, it will be a great uncertainty, what I should do. So when one develops a liking towards such kind of transformation, then these promises will actually turn into factual experiences like that. So surely they are like, another example, you might have heard this. They are like the tickets. You are given the ticket to travel, but you should use that ticket and board the plane. Then you can travel. So boarding the plane is like using your free will. You are given the ticket. Oh, you saw the Rath Yatra of Lord? This ticket is for you. When you will use the ticket, it's up to you. There is no, what is that? Invalid date, what do you call it? Expiry date. Expiry date. Whenever you wish, you use this ticket. It's your eternal credit. But point is, one should desire to board the plane. Like that. Yeah, any comment? Anyone want to add? Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji, I have one question, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So this Ajamila story is actually completely an exceptional story, Prabhuji, because yesterday in Satsang also I was asked the same question. Ajamila, he had no intention actually. He, in fact, who knew everything, that because he was a Brahmin, who knew everything about the Lord, but still he left everything purposefully and he came out of it. But just because he told Narayana, he was given a second chance and he got liberated later on. But the thing is, if we see, there is completely another extreme like Bhakta Tukaram or Ramadas, who had to go through severe struggle to really reach the Lord. So how should really one can understand that? Okay, these people also admitted completely with heart that yes, Lord exists and we are really the devotees of Lord Krishna. But the other side, Ajamila is like he knowingly he ignored, but still he got a second chance, and his life was quite easy actually, because after seeing that, getting 100% confidence, yes, if I follow this path, I'm definitely going to get liberated. That is more easy for anyone rather than compared to like how the paths were, the struggles they had to go through for Ramadas and Bhaktakaram. So why are these two different extremes, Prabhuji?
Oh, first of all, Ajamila did use very, very consciously his free will properly in the second chance. He desired very strongly the association of Lord, due to which he was given an entrance in Vaikuntha. It was not an easy chance in the sense of it was enforced on him, or he just chanted the name of Narayana, immediately he went to Vaikuntha. No, he was given only second chance. The second chance utilization was his free will. It was expression of his sincerity. So Prabhupada says at another place, no one can make advancement without being serious, sincere, and no ulterior motives. So they are like the essential criteria or qualities which are to be there. Now coming to your other part of question of seeing difficulties or struggles in the lives of those great devotees, that is because of so many reasons. It is not the reason of their inability or Lord denying them spiritual perfection. No, Lord was wanting to show an important lesson through their life. So one cannot say that they struggled to go to spiritual world. Lord tested them so much. Lord tested them for, in fact, showing their glory to all of us. So we should not equate on that terms. In fact, we should know from the words of Acharyas why Lord, tested them like that. Like Pandavas, how much struggle they faced. Practically, they ruled for very few years. Their whole life was struggle for ruling on. But what was Lord showing them? Practically every step, there was some difficulty in them. Lord was showing that how my devotees are just, in spite of so much difficulties, they never leave my shelter. How surrendered they are. So Lord wants to teach through his pure devotees. They are liberated devotees. They are pure devotees. They are actually residents of spiritual world only. They came to show something which Lord wanted to show. It's not that like we who are conditioned, we have to attain spiritual world. They were actually liberated souls. No? Is it not? So Pandavas, all these liberated souls, their life difficulties, they are for very different purposes. Many purposes are there. Let me not simplistically say only one. Each
Even
case can be
Prahlada
filled
also,
with so many possibilities, so many lessons which Lord wants to give. Yes, Mataji is adding some. Prahlada.
Prahlada also in such a small age, he faced many difficulties, but he became Maharaj. We call him as Prahlad Maharaj. And he got blessings directly from the Lord.
He is actually epitome of faith, epitome of how smarana has to be done, is it not? Is the emblem of smarana. So that principle is teaching like that. Okay. Hope it
understood
some part. Okay.
Yeah, I only felt that Ajamala is one way very lucky because he could see in front of his own eyes that Yamadutas have come, Yamabhatas have come, Vishnudutas have come, and he could clearly see by just uttering the name what is the power and what is the result of it. So he's 100% convinced very easily.
Actually, I have not. You can show me a statement telling that it was a very special case. No, it is actually to show the power of holy name. It is not an exaggeration. There are many accounts of such kind of transformation even today. So, anyways, so let's now continue reading. So this principle number 20 is Tilaka and Tulasi beads. They are called as Vaishnava symbols, Vaishnava Chinna. Vaishnava Chinna Dhriti means to wear them. That is Vaishnava Chinna Dhriti. So what are the Vaishnava Chinnas? Like as we already saw earlier, Tilak, Kanthimala, is it not? So these are all Vaishnava symbols. It could also be in some Vaishnava Parampara, there are also writing of names of Lord on their body. Like sometimes in the Diksha also, one will have emblems of Lord like a Shankh Chakra. I have heard this in a Sri Parampara, Sri Vaishnava Parampara also, is it not? So such kind of decorating one's body with the Vaishnava Chinna has great potency. So that's the, like one can mark with the Vaishnava Tilaka or Lord's name itself, Harer Namakshara. So this is described here. Let's go to read. By the way, are there any comments about that promises are not exaggeration, that points? Any of you? I hope I am not.
All these promises, Prabhu, are not giving bhakti, right? They are only promises giving only mukti.
No, they are also going, you will also see some promises which will show you will go to spiritual world, such kind of.
That is once again the free will, Prabhu. That's the only opportunity is given.
Yeah,
but they give only mukti, right? That's what I understood.
They can give bhakti also, provided one uses that free will.
Okay.
Use of free will, as you rightly pointed out, is to be along with that. Okay. Okay. So let us read this. A similar statement is in Skanda Puran. Continue.
Prabhuji, I can read.
Yes, Prabhuji, I will continue. A similar
Yes,
statement
Mataji.
is in the Skand Purana, which says, persons who are decorated with tilaka and gopi chandan and who mark their bodies all over with the holy names of the Lord, and on whose neck and breast are tulsi beads, are never approached by the Yamadutas.
Yamadutas. In fact, in the 6th canto, Lord Yama himself says to his servants, do not bring me those who chant the names of Lord, who have even once bowed down in front of Lord, who have tilaka on their forehead, like that. Prabhupada also mentions that. So there is another statement about Padma Purana. Read this, the Padma Purana mentions.
Prabhuji, maybe these symbols are for us for awareness, like what we have to do. If we are putting daily our Vaishnava symbols, then we remember that we are Vaishnava, we have to do our duties.
Correct. So just by wearing them, we become conscious that we have to remember Krishna and follow his teachings. We should represent acharyas properly, is it not? So these symbols, tilaka, kanthi, the attire itself very much actually gives him great responsibility to behave properly. At least one can take at that level of inspiration.
Yes.
Very right. Thank you. Continue.
Yeah, the Padma Purana also mentioned a person whose body is decorated with the pulp of sandalwood with paintings of the holy name of the Lord is delivered from all sinful reactions, and after his death he goes directly to Krishna Loka to live in association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay, so one who decorates with holy name, so he can even go and associate with Supreme Personality of Godhead after his death. You see, some spiritual promises also are there. So now the next one, this is 23rd principle is actually accepting the Maha remnants of Lord. The Maha remnants could be flowers. That's why in the book also you will see accepting the flower garlands which were offered to the Lord. So one takes it as Nirmalya, as the Mahaprasada, the garland, the flower, the sandalwood, all this. Actually, towards this, there is a very famous shloka in Bhagavatam. This is one of the classic verses, which is told by Lord himself to Uddhava. Can you read the translation below?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, this is told by Uddhava to Lord. Okay, Uddhava to Sri Krishna. Read.
Uddhava to Sri Krishna. Simply by decorating ourselves with the garlands, fragrant oils, cloths, and ornaments that you have already enjoyed, and by eating the remnants of your meals, we, your servant, will indeed conquer your illusory energy.
Wow, what a nice confidence, you see. Just by decorating ourselves with your prasada, Tvaya upabhukta srak, gandha, vasa, alankara, uchishta bhoja. All this is actually Maha, is it? Nirmalya, together it is called. By that, what will we do? Tava mayam jayemahi. We will win over your illusory energy, O Lord. This is the confidence a devotee has, you see. The power of your Maha, garlands, all that is so great. Prabhupada actually quotes the same verse here, actually. Can you read the purport of this verse?
The purport of this verse is that for any person who simply follows these rules and regulations of decorating the body with the marks of tilaka or gopi chandan or sandalwood pulp, and who puts on the garlands which were offered to Krishna, there is no question of being conquered by the spell of material energy. At the time of the death, there is no question of such a person's being called by the constables of Yamraja.
Wow.
Even if one does not accept all the Vaishnava principles but still take the remnants of the food stuff offered to Krishna or Krishna Prasada, he will gradually become qualified to rise to the platform of a Vaishnava.
See, here is interesting point here. Even if one is not a practicing devotee, he just happened to take some prasad. He happened to wear this kind of Maha garland or tilaka, like on the festival days, many people want to wear. No? You must have seen in Janmashtami or Ratha Yatra like that. So that actually helps them to rise to the platform of Vaishnava. It's an interesting point up here. So even Skanda Purana, Lord Brahmaji also says to Narada, "Oh, my dear Narada, anyone who puts on his neck the garland offered, which was formerly used by Krishna, becomes relieved from all diseases and reactions to sinful activities, and he becomes gradually liberated from the world, material world." So this was the principle number 23rd, which was Nirmalya Dhriti. Accepting flower garlands, sandalwood pulp, all those which were offered to the Lord, and that is accepted by the devotee, like that. Now the 24th one.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yeah, dancing before the. Okay, Mataji, you want to read it? In the Dwaraka.
Dancing before the deity. In the Dwaraka Mahamya.
Mahatmya.
The importance of dancing before the deity is stated by the Lord Krishna as follows. A person who is in a jubilant spirit, who feels profound devotional ecstasy while dancing before me, and who manifests different features of bodily expression, can burn away all the accumulated sinful reactions he has stocked up for many, many thousands of years.
Wow. In the same book?
In the same book, there is a statement by Narada wherein he asserts, from the body of any person who claps and dances before the deity, showing manifestations of ecstasy, all the birds of sinful activities fly away upward. Just as by clapping the hands, one can cause many birds to fly away. Similarly, the birds of all sinful activities which are sitting on the body can be made to fly away simply by dancing and clapping before the deity of Krishna.
After reading this, tomorrow when we go in Kirtan of Lord, we can all be more conscious.
Definitely will dance.
That's actually wonderful, is it not? If we take to those devotional practices with more faith, yeah, this could be my potential way to attain prem. If only I take to this with great faith. So like this, one should approach the limbs of bhakti. So the glory of each of the limb, how potent it is. So just as one celebrates by dancing in front of their beloved. Similarly, one should celebrate the glory of Radha and Krishna, like day after tomorrow is Sri Radhashtami. Is it not? Such a wonderful festival for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. We should celebrate the mercy of Srimati Radharani, the glory of her love by dancing, by chanting her names. Is it? Just by doing that, appreciating their devotion, our advancement is already taken. Like that. So this 24th limb is called Tandavam. Tandavam means dance. This word is used with respect to Lord Shiva usually. But Shiva is also actually dancing in remembrance of his beloved Lord Krishna, Lord Rama. Is it not? So dancing before the deity. That's the 24th item. So now let's go to the 25th item. Bowing down. Bowing down in honor of the deity. Yes, in the Naradiya, read.
In the Naradiya Purana, there is a statement about bowing down and offering respect to the deity. It is said there, a person who has performed a great ritualistic sacrifice and a person who has simply offered his respectful obeisances by bowing down before the Lord cannot be held as equals. The person who has...
Someone who did a great sacrifice, he did so much of endeavor. But someone who offered very respectfully with great faith in front of Lord. In fact, it is told one who bowed down in front of Lord is superior to one who did just a yajna. The meaning is like this here actually. They cannot be held as equal means one who just offered the pranama, dandavat, pranama. He is far superior to even one who did a ritualistic sacrifice offered to some devatas, following some Vedic rituals like that. Continue. The person
who has executed many great sacrifices will attain the result of his pious activities. But when such results are finished, he has to take birth again on the earthly planet. However, the person who has once offered respects, bowing down before the deity, will not come back to this world because he will go directly to the abode of Krishna.
Will go directly to the abode of Krishna. So that's far superior than to just be taking again and again birth. Is it not? So dandavat. Dandavan natihi. Nati means actually offering pranama. Nati. This also comes in the Shad Goswami Ashtakam. They would count offering obeisances. The Goswamis, it is told, especially Raghunath Das Goswami is told that he would offer thousands of obeisances daily. Practically, we may wonder how many times he would bow down. Always he must be bowing down only, is it not? So it shows one's great regard, one's great respect for the deity. You can see in Srila Prabhupada's videos how, though he's so old, he very peacefully, very slowly, he kneels down, offers his full pranam. Not just vancha, not just shortcut or like that. No, that shows how one should be not lazy in offering obeisance. Sometimes it happens because of repetitive practice. One may tend to take it very casually. One should not be such a casually disposed towards these activities. Dandavanati. This is the 25th one. Please note that number, 25th. Now 26th. Read. Standing up.
Standing up to receive the Lord. In the Brahmanda Purana, it is said, the person who sees the Lord's Rath Yatra, car festival, and then stands up to receive the Lord can purge all kinds of sinful results from his body.
Just standing. Oh, such a great procession is coming of Lord. Let me stand in honoring, in the manner of honor. Like the Lord when he is entering Dwaraka, when he is leaving Hastinapur, everyone comes to see him off. When he's entering Dwaraka, everyone comes to receive him. They practically leave whatever they are doing. So this attitude, when we celebrate festivals, you see people, they are, affected by that kind of respectful attitude. Everyone stands to offer their yes. So just doing that itself is greatly rewarding. It can purge away all kinds of material sinful results from this. That was, what was the number? 26. It's called
26.
Abhyuthana. Abhyuthana. Utthana means get up. Abhyuthana, standing up to receive the Lord. Okay. Now this is 27th, I think.
27th, Prabhu.
27th, 26 was the standing up to receive the Lord.
Now 27 is following the deity. Following the deity in Sanskrit, anuvrajya. Following the deity. Like when the procession is going on, one follows. Like in Ratha Yatra procession, one follows. Read, Mataji, a similar statement.
A similar statement is there in the Bhavishya Purana, in which it is said, even if born of a low family, a person who follows the Rath Yatra car, when the deities pass in front or from behind, will surely be elevated to the position of achieving equal opulence with Vishnu.
That means he will attain like Sarshti, that kind of a mukti. He will attain the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, following the deity. Whenever such great events are there, one should follow behind, like Ratha Yatra, like some Utsava murtis are brought out in procession, is it not? Brahmotsavam, or Kirtana, or like that. One should follow behind, like that. So that was the 27. Yeah. 28. 28 is going to temple of Vishnu or to places of pilgrimage. Now here is an important comment here. We have seen in the principle number 7, you can little turn behind the pages. This is in the chapter number 7. The principle number 7, residing in a sacred place. There are also some places of pilgrimage or sacred places stored. And here in 28, here also holy place or pilgrimage is being told. Now one may say, is it not repetition? Is it not? Are you able to notice this? Hare Krishna. Yeah. There was a principle already.
Yes.
Yeah. It is telling that one should reside in a holy place, sacred place. Now in this point, principle number 28, in fact, ahead also 1, 2 more will come in the same line. Places of pilgrimage, places of pilgrimage. They have fine details of difference. Here, it is not just told places of pilgrimage, it is also added with temple of Vishnu. That's the differentiating factor. Okay, one can go to any temple of Vishnu nearby, and that's also one of the links. Not just Dwaraka, Puri, or Ganga, which was told in principle number 7. Okay, this is principle number 28. Read. It is stated in the Puranas.
Let Arvind Prabhuji read. Prabhuji.
Yes. Others, please read. Yeah.
I will do that, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So going to the temple of Vishnu or to the places of pilgrimage, it is stated in the Puranas, persons who attempt to visit the holy places of pilgrimage like Vrindavan, Mathura or Dwaraka are actually glorified. By such traveling activities, they can pass over the desert of material existence.
So one can pass over the material existence itself just by visiting these places. In the Hari
Bhakti Subhodaya, there is a statement about the benefit of visiting the temples of Lord Krishna. As we have explained previously, in Vrindavana, Mathura and Dwaraka, the system is that all the devotees take advantage of visiting various temples situated in these holy places. It is stated in the Hari Bhakti Subhodaya, persons who are impelled by pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness and who therefore go to see the deities of Vishnu in the temple will surely get relief from entering again into the presence of a mother's womb.
The condition so
forgets the trouble of living within the mother's womb during birth, but it is a very painful and terrible experience. In order to make an escape from this material condition, one is advised to visit a temple of Vishnu with a devotional consciousness.
Yes.
Then one can very easily get out of the miserable condition of material birth.
Just see, just by doing the parikrama of the temple, going to the temple itself will make a person not enter the womb, material womb. Okay, such a great misery which is otherwise actually. So like this, it's been a great culture to visit holy places, is it not? There are so many types of yatras which people do, Char Dham, or many yatras like this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also they exhibited this. So any temple also, going to the Lord's temple, it need not be those dhamas. It could be temple. I've heard that all of you have brought out very nice temple in Gachibowli. Wonderful. Someone had shared me the link. I saw it. So beautiful, actually. So going to Gachibowli Center also can fulfill this result, is it not? It's not necessary that one should. If one can, one should surely go. Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwaraka. Yeah. But one can take benefit by visiting temples, Srila Prabhupada's temples. So such places will actually make one not enter the material womb. That was the principle number 28. Now 29, interesting, it is circumambulating the temple. This is, okay, if you visit temple, you will surely circumambulate. One may think like that, no? Actually, it is told this is superior to even visiting the holy dhams. Doing parikrama of the temple is, in fact, more quicker in giving devotion. Jiva Goswami explains. So that's why it's listed as one of the separate limbs. Read, it is said in Hari Bhakti.
It said in the Hari Bhakti Subodhaya, a person who is circumambulating the deity of Vishnu can counteract the circumambulation of repeated birth and death in this material world. The conditioned soul is circumambulating through repeated births and deaths on account of his material existence. And this can be counteracted simply by circumambulating the deity in the temple.
The whole Brahmana in samsara can be put to end by circumambulating the temple. Parikrama. That's called parikrama. So in another place in the scripture called Chaturmasya Mahatmya, especially in those 4 months, right now in second or third month is happening, Chaturmas. So in this period, it is told that one, if circumambulates the temple, at least 4 times it's mentioned here, then it is as if one has visited all the holy places of the whole material world, all over the universe. Just doing at this period at the holy place. Yes?
Vishnu temple, Prabhuji?
It is mentioned here. You see, if one circumambulates the temple of Vishnu at least 4 times. So Vishnu temple, we understand that that temple which is following the parampara established by acharyas, that's the proper Vishnu.
Like we normally heard about 3 times circumambulating, Prabhuji. 4 times we never heard.
Here it's mentioned. Like that. So the number, I'm not so aware of what exactly your number, but what I understand is the more the better in that sense. Doing it in consciousness, proper remembrance. Like. Now coming to the next one is number 30, Archana. Now what is called Archana? Archana means worship, no? Usually we consider Archanam worship. Actually, worship, when we say worship, it should be with a specific observance. What are they? It is told that Archana means that which involves offering of specific upacharas, specific items. They are like here it's mentioned, you see. Offering of items, upacharas, means specific items, along with mantras. And when we say worship, there are some pre-worship activities. Those who are Brahmana, Dikshit Bhaktas, or who do regularly service in temple may be familiar with this. There is something called Bhuta Shuddhi. One purifies oneself before entering the place of worship. One does what is called Nyasa, then Purvanga Karma. They are like preparatory activities. So, worship or Archana means offering of specific items, say Dhupa, Deepa, Naivedya, Arghya, or Chamara, Vyajana. These are all the items we see in worship of Preetis. These upacharas should be done with the mantras, which is done with some preparatory activity or preliminary activity. That is called Archana. Because why it is told? Because there is next item. Next item is paricharya. Paricharya is also referring to worship, but there is a little difference of meaning there. Okay, I will explain that meaning when we read that part. But archana means offering of items, Gopa, the incense, Deepa, the lamb, Naivedya, or Phala, Pushpa, flowers, like that, all of them with the mantra, with some preliminary activities. Okay, let's read that, the importance of archana. Yes, this is interesting. Sudama is speaking about the worship of Lord. In fact, he is not speaking to anyone. He is murmuring. He is just murmuring. He is murmuring to himself. Are Bhagwan ka puja karne se, something like that. He describes like that. Read this in the 10th canto.
In the 10th canto, 81st chapter, verse 19 of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is told how Sudama, an intimate friend of Krishna's, while going to the house of a Brahmana, murmured to himself, simply by worshipping Krishna, one can easily achieve all the results of heavenly opulence, liberation, supremacy over the planetary systems of the universe, all the opulences of this material world, and the mystic power of the yoga system.
Yeah. So, actually, Prabhupada says, why was this statement told? What was the situation? He describes it. Read this whole thing. It's nice. The events leading to.
The events leading to Sudama's murmuring, this statement are as follows. Sri Krishna had ordered his friend Sudama to go to a Brahmana's house and ask for some food. The Brahmanas were performing a great sacrifice, and Sri Krishna told Sudama to plead with them that he and Balarama were feeling hungry and needed some food. When Sudama went there, the Brahmanas refused to offer anything. But the wives of Brahmanas, upon hearing that Sri Krishna wanted some foodstuff, immediately took many palatable dishes and went to offer them to Sri Krishna. In Vishnu Rahasya also, it is stated any person within this world who is engaged in the worship of Vishnu can very easily achieve the ever blissful kingdom of God, known as Vaikuntha Loka.
So actually, this Sudama is not that Sudama whom we hear, he came to Dwaraka. This Sudama is actually cowherd friend of Krishna. He's a Gopa. Because this pastime you see with the Brahmanas, the Yajnik Brahmanas, it was the Gopa friends of Krishna with him, right? The one Gopa friend's name was Sudama. Sudama Sakha, his name is actually. So he was told, go and ask those Brahmanas that we need some food. You know that pastime. When he was going, he murmured to himself, Are Brahman, sabhi samajh lo, understand that just by offering little Naivedya to Lord, you will attain the perfection of your yajna, your, getting all the siddhis, liberation, everything you get. He's actually murmuring. These people don't know what is in store if they just offer a little food in love for Lord Krishna, like that. So this is in that context. So this is told here actually. So this was Archana. This was the principal number. What's the number?
30.
30. Now 31. Rendering service to the Lord. So this is called Paricharya. It is called Paricharya. So what is Paricharya? Paricharya is similar to Archana only, right? It is similar to serving the deities. But the mood here is very important. The mood here is one treats the Lord like a king. Like a king. He is offered the services like a king. In some of the temples, they actually call the temple as Haveli, or they call Lord also as Thakur. This is prevalent more in the north part of country, in Rajasthan and in those kind Rajput, this Jaipur and those kind of temples actually, Haveli, or even in Gujarat also. In the Pushti Marga and all, like they treat like, oh, he's a prince. Krishna is like a prince. In Dwaraka, they treat like that. So they offer Lord the service like they offer to a king with all attendants like that. So the statement also is similar like that. Read it. It is stated in the Vishnu
It is
Rahasya.
stated in the Vishnu Rahasya, any person who can arrange for service to the Lord in the same way that a king is given service by his attendants is surely elevated to the abode of Krishna after death.
That's why you will see today also in Jaipur, they have this temple of Radha Govindaji in the middle of the palace. Right in the middle of the palace, they have the temple. That's how the king made it actually. So Prabhupada says the mood of this kind of worship, that is paricharya, actually in India, read it.
Actually, in India, the temples are just like royal palaces. They are not ordinary buildings because the worship of Krishna should be performed in just the way that a king is worshipped in his palace. So, in Vrindavana, there are many hundreds of temples wherein the deity is worshipped exactly like a king. In the Naradiya Purana, it is stated, if a person stays in the Lord's temple even for few moments, he can surely achieve the transcendental kingdom of God.
So even if one gets attracted by the opulence of building, Prabhupada made the temples also like that. Still, one gets such transcendental. So Prabhupada gives an instruction here. Very nice instruction. The conclusion, read this.
So Prabhuji, that word surely, it is adding very much high emphasis, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Surely achieve the transcendental kingdom. You read it also like that. Thank you. Yes.
So
Actually,
the
I'm
conclusion
touched by that kind of a ambience. Wow, really, he's the king, Thakur. You're saying something too?
Yeah, the same thing, Prabhuji. I mean, the word surely, when someone reads it, it is immediately giving a full confidence that yes, I do this, then this is definitely going to happen.
Yeah. Continue the conclusion.
The conclusion is that those who are rich men in society should construct beautiful temples and arrange for the worship of Vishnu, so that people may be attracted to visit such temples and thereby be offered the opportunity of dancing before the Lord, or chanting the holy name of the Lord, or else of hearing the holy name of the Lord.
Yeah, just see, this is the actual purpose of utilizing the wealth properly. The wealth should be used in building wonderful facilities where worship of Lord is done and people are attracted to visit the temple. So Prabhupada says, what kind of great service such temples can offer. Even a common man can come there and appreciate the glory, the beauty, the mercy of Lord there. So Prabhupada further says, even King Pruthu, he's an Acharya of Archanam. In the 9 limbs, King Pruthu stands for Archanam. Is it not? So he says, very interesting statement from Bhagavatam is quoted. My dear citizens, read.
My dear citizens, please note that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is actually the deliverer of all fallen conditioned souls. No demigod can perform this act of delivering the conditioned souls because the demigods themselves are conditioned. A conditioned soul cannot deliver another conditioned soul. Only Krishna or his bona fide representative can deliver him. The Ganges water, which is flowing down from the toe of Lord Vishnu, falls upon the earthly planet and other planets and thereby delivers all the conditioned sinful living entities. So what need is there to speak of the deliverance of person who are always engaged in the service of the Lord? There is no doubt about their liberation, even if they have stocks of sinful activities from many births.
So the point is, the Ganga, which is washing the feet of Lord, it is coming from the worship, no? Like in the morning when we go in the temple, people are sprinkling water. It is actually Ganga. Ganga is coming after the worship, the feet water actually. Charanodaka, Padodaka, it is it not? So just see the glory of it. So the point Prabhupada is mentioning is one who is engaged in service is surely delivered. One who is offering such kind of worship. So Prabhupada mentions a person who is engaged in worship of deities can minimize the stock of sinful reactions from many previous births. That's a promise given. In fact, that's a secondary promise. The actual is one can awaken the prema to. So this was the principle number 31. 32 is the singing or Gita, singing, Geetam. Okay. Anybody else would like to read?
Prabhuji, is also called like a Kirtan, or is it a different, Prabhuji? Singing and
Kirtana is actually coming ahead. This Gita is like singing of songs in praise of Lord, like bhajanas.
Okay.
You know? Kirtana is actually a separate limb. Sankirtana, that's limb number 33.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yeah, please read.
Hare Krishna.
In the linga, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Mataji, go ahead, Mataji. Sorry.
Yeah, read. In the
Linga Purana, there is a statement about glorifying and singing about the Lord.
Yeah.
It is said there, a Brahmana who is constantly engaged in singing the glories of the Lord is surely elevated to the same planet as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna appreciates this singing even more than the prayers offered by Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva. So this kind of singing, singing of Vaishnava songs, singing of bhajanas, praising the Lord, which has great meaning. So that is specifically mentioned, singing that Gita like that. Now Sankirtana, you see, this is specifically a limb now, Sankirtana. The Sankirtana, this is having actually 3 subcategories. What Sankirtana means? You glorify. You glorify with great voice. You emphasize, Ucha Dhvani, Urdhva Dhvani, it's called. So one glorifies the Lord's name. It's called Nama Sankirtana. One recites or sings the names of Lord loudly, Nama Sankirtana. Or it could be Leela Sankirtana. Leela Sankirtana means one who recites the Leela of the Lord. It describes the Leela of the Lord, like in Pravachanas, Satsangas, is it not? Or one describes specifically the Gunas, Guna Sankirtana. So these 3 categories are mentioned. What are the 3 categories?
Nama Sankirtana, Leela Sankirtana, Guna Sankirtana.
Guna Sankirtana. So our Goswamis have given this kind of details also, and the glories are also mentioned for Nama Sankirtana, for Leela Sankirtana, for Guna Sankirtana. The citations are given like that. Okay. So what is Sankirtana? At first, Prabhupada specifies. Read, when a person loudly chants.
When a person loudly chants the glories of the Lord's activities, qualities, form, etc., his chanting is called Sankirtana.
Continue.
Sankirtana also refers to the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord.
So now first statement is from Vishnu Dharma. This actually is glorifying Nama Sankirtana. So there is a statement here, my dear king.
My dear king, this word Krishna is so auspicious that anyone who chants his holy name immediately gets rid of the resultant actions of sinful activities from many, many births. That is a fact.
Fact. That's a fact. No exaggeration, no overstatement here. It's a fact. So Chaitanya Charitamrita also mentions the similar statement that one counteracts results of more sinful activities than one can perform. So Nama Sankirtana is so powerful that one cannot say that I have so much of sin that even Sankirtana can't destroy. No. So that's very specifically mentioned. Now the next citation is for Leela Sankirtana, one who describes the activities of Lord, Leela. So this is Prahalada Maharaj, who is in prayers to Lord, Leela Kathastavan Virinchi Gita, that there is a very specific shloka like that. Read, my dear
Lord Narasimha, if I can be elevated to the position of your servant, then it will be possible for me to hear about your activities. You are the supreme friend, the supreme worshipable deity. Your pastimes are transcendental, and simply by hearing of them, one can counteract all his sinful activities. Therefore, I shall not care for all those sinful activities, because simply by hearing about your pastimes, I shall get out of all the contamination of material attachment.
So Prabhupada in the further paragraph, he mentions that how wonderful are these compositions, Sankirtana, the Leela descriptions in the form of songs like that. One can very nicely get attracted to them. Like there is a very nice, wonderful composition by name Govinda, Gita Govinda. Is it not? Such a beautiful narration of Leelas, very, very exalted, very esoteric too. But the point is, the description of Leela of Lord is there. Prabhupada says they are far better than any cinema songs. He mentions that here. They are far better than any polluting material level songs. Better to engage in hearing this kind of description. That's why in the culture, there was a strong culture of hearing the kathas or participating in the Sankirtan of the Lord, is it not? Many people would throng to hear, to participate in Sankirtan, to sit in pravachanas and hear. That would be their entertainment, actually, is it not? They would not go into the polluting such kind of material description of any mundane person also. So that was Leela Sankirtan. Okay. So next is coming. What's the next one? Guna Sankirtana. Guna Sankirtana. Read this.
My dear Vyasa, you should know that persons who are engaged in executing austerities and penances, studying the Vedas, performing big sacrifices, chanting the hymns of Vedas, speculating on transcendental knowledge, and performing charitable functions have, for all their auspicious activities, simply to gain a place in the association of devotees and chant the glories of the Lord. It is indicated here that chanting about and glorifying the Lord is the ultimate activity of the living entity.
This shloka is very important, a very famous shloka. Idam hi pumsas tapasa shrutasya va swishtasya suttasya tabuddhi dattayo. They're a very nice purport of Prabhupada, 1.5.22. One can see Prabhupada makes statements in purports like, by any field of knowledge, one can understand the qualities of Lord. Say, Prabhupada lists physics, chemistry, psychology, politics, all these branches. If one studies them through and through, one will reach the gunas of the Lord, the guna kirtana, and he will attain transcendental progress like that. So the point is, one can appreciate the wonderful glory, the qualities of the Lord by this. That's Sankirtana. The Sankirtana was, what was the number, principal number?
33, bro.
33. Now 34, Japa. Japa is different than Sankirtan. Prabhupada describes that. Read it, chanting a mantra.
Chanting a mantra or hymn softly and slowly is called japa, and chanting the same mantra loudly is called kirtana.
Kirtana. So example, like when we chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When it's chanted loudly, it is Sankirtan. When it is chanted for one's own hearing, it is called japa. So Prabhupada makes that difference between japa and kirtan. So a little below, there is a very famous quotation from Padma Purana. For any person
who's chanting the holy name either softly or loudly, the paths to liberation and even heavenly happiness are at once open.
So chanting or japa is actually reciting the names of Lord for one's own hearing. Just hearing those names is greatly uplifting spiritually, is it not? It is so cleansing, it is so rewarding spiritually. One can perceive the presence of Lord by the recitation of names with great faith. So that is japa. It's actually a personal practice. Though we come together in the temple, it is a personal practice. We derive inspiration to do that personal practice by chanting in together, but it is a personal practice. But Sankirtana, on the other hand, is a congregational practice. It is like one person sings and all others recite behind or sing behind. It's a congregation. So that difference Prabhupada has pointed out, and he has also shown the glory. So this was the principle number 34. Now 35, submission. So the submission here actually means prayers, offering of prayers, vignapti, prayers, prarthana. So Prabhupada in the description describes the different types of prayers. The prayers, there are many categories within the prayers. And he mentions some wonderful prayers as an example for each of these types. There are 3 types, basically. Prabhupada describes them, and he gives some wonderful prayers in those categories also. Please read in the Skanda Purana.
In the Skanda Purana, there is a statement about submission unto the lotus feet of the Lord. It is said there that those who are sober devotees can offer their submission to Krishna in the following 3 ways. Samprarthanatmika, very feelingly offering prayers. Dainya Bodhika, humbly submitting oneself. And Lalasa Mai, desiring some perfectional stage.
So what is that meaning? Samprarthanatmika. You are offering prayers, surely there is also meaning of glorifying the Lord. You describe the Lord's qualities. Oh Lord, you are like a Kunti Maharani said, Namasye Purusham tu Adyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param. She is describing the position of Lord. There is no description of how fallen I am, what I want to achieve. No. Just purely glorifying the Lord. That is Samprarthanatmika, offering prayers. And in case of Dainya Bodhika, it is little different. How different it is? Dainya, expressing one's deeness situation, humbly submitting oneself, one's fallen situation, submitting, oh, I am so fallen, I am so laden with the material mentality. Dainya Bodhika. Then Lalasamayi, that means you express your desire. You express your desire. When will I be able to see you, Lord, in Vrindavan? When will I be able to fan you, offer you tambula, offer you chandan? Have you heard this kind of prayers? Many prayers like that are there. Any example? Any recollect? Desiring some perfectional stage. Lalasa Mayi Prarthana.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur's
many vajanas are there. So there is one whole book by Bhaktivinoda Thakur called Prarthana. There is a book, Prarthana. In that, he writes many songs under each category. Maybe today you can go in your Vaishnava song app. We all have that app, is it? That category is there. Some Prarthana, Dainya Bodhika, Lalasa Mayi Prarthana. Like every day we sing this Tulasi Kirtana, Tulasi Puja. There we say, what is that? The second verse. When will I be able to see you? How does it start? Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Prayasi.
राधा कृष्णा सेवा पाओ यही अभिलाषी जे तुम्हार शरण लोय तारावांछा पूर्ण होय कृपा करी कर थारे वृंदावन
Mora ye abhilasha prabhu.
Mora yehi
Abhilasha, Vilas.
that was the word. Vilas Kunje Diyo was my Abhilash is that I want to go, I want to come to that Vilasa Kunja, Vrindavana Kunja. Why? Just loitering around. Nayane, here you go. I can see you by my Nayana. Yugalaru Parashi. Yehi Nivedana Dharo. This is my Nivedan, O Lord. Sakhir Anugata. So all that is actually desiring some perfection. Is it not? So these are actually there in Prabhupada's program he has given. These all prayers are there. Like Guru Puja is actually some prarthana. There is some mention of Dainya Bodhika too there. Right? So like this, one should.
Prabhuji, but these are Vandanam, no Prabhuji. Why this is not Atmanivedam? This is not surrender. No?
Surrender? Where is the word surrender?
So this submission. It's same. This is Vandanam also, right? I mean,
yeah, Vandanam, you can say. Vignapti is the technical word. Vignapti. When we offer prayer, we surely have accepted a subordinate position and we are submitting. So, in that sense, it's not. Sharanagati is a very specific name. In Sharanagati, there are two categories. In fact, it will come further. A lot of detail is there in that. Okay? So, here is a prayer aspect. Vandana. You can say that Vandana. True. Continue reading. This desiring some perfection.
Desiring some perfectional stage in spiritual life is not sense gratification. When one realizes something of his constitutional relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he understands his original position and wants to be reinstated in this position, either as a friend, servant, parent, or conjugal lover of Krishna. That is called Lalasamayi, or very eagerly desiring to go to one's natural position.
Natural position. So, one should desire like this. If one doesn't desire, he will not attain that perfection. In fact, it is told in the stage of Raganuga, one should desire. Yeah, when will I be able to serve Lord in this pure manner, in this relationship of, say, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, like that. That desire, that lalasa is the driving motor. It is the impetus actually. when doesn't have that desire, that means he is not advancing to that agaramic stage actually. So Prabhupada here now mentions some wonderful prayers. In fact, Rupa Goswami mentions this is one very interesting prayer. One can marvel at our Acharya's expertise in connecting us from material emotion to spiritual emotion. So this prayer is actually coming in Padma Purana. Read this. My Lord.
My Lord, I know that young girls have natural affection for young boys, and that young boys have natural affection for young girls. I am praying at your lotus feet that my mind may become attracted unto you in the same spontaneous way.
Yuvatinam yatha yunam cha yuvatim yatha manobhiramate tadvad manobhiramatam tvayi. Just as a yuvati and yuvaka, they get attracted to each other. May my mind be attractive to you, O Lord. So Prabhupada says that this kind of attraction is common in this world. But to cultivate this kind of attraction towards Lord, that's a wonderful prayer. In fact, there is a nice prayer by Bhaktivinoda Thakur also. Yehi matra asha mama tomara charane, seyi mata priti hok. Just like I desire Vishaya, Vishaye je priti eve achaye amar. Just like how I love to eat, how I love to see wonderful things. Let me develop this much of attraction towards you. Like, because this is very perceivable, is it not? I have great attraction to material, Vishaya. Let me have that much towards you, O Lord. So
there's one more.
There's
one more which says, just like the swan's necks get entangled with the lotus stems, let my consciousness be entangled in your lotus feet.
That's a wonderful prayer, yes. Kulashekara says that, wonderful prayer. So there is one more prayer. Thank you, Mataji, for that. Now there is one more prayer. This prayer is Dainya Bodhika. Dainya Bodhika meant what? Any of you recollect? What is Dainya Bodhika? Vijnapti. What is that?
In a Dina Sthiti to ask.
You express
submitting oneself.
Submitting one's fallen state. Oh Lord, I am so bound by this attachments, this world, like that. So there is one statement Prabhupada is pointing out, Padma Purana quotation.
My dear Lord, there is no sinful living entity who is more of a sinner than myself. Nor is there a greater offender than myself. I am so greatly sinful and offensive that when I come to confess my sinful activities before you, I am ashamed.
I am ashamed. Now, this is not mean to depress a devotee. The goal is to make that person take shelter of Lord. So, understanding one's disqualification will impel one to take shelter of Lord more strongly. Is it not? So, in that sense, one should see oneself. One should see oneself as practically undeserving to what one has received. So, that will make a person very respectful, very greatly faithful to Lord. So, Prabhupada says, as far as conditioned soul is concerned, can you read this, Mataji?
As far as a conditioned soul is concerned, there is no wonder that he has some sinful activities in his past life, and this should be admitted and confessed before the Lord. As soon as this is done, the Lord excuses the sincere devotee. But that does not mean that one should take advantage of the Lord's causeless mercy and expect to be excused over and over again while he commits the same sinful activities.
Again. So one should not take it to mean that anyway, Lord will excuse sincere person. I will go and pray this again. Lord will forgive me. No, one should actually live up to one's words. So in the mind, one is feeling oneself very strongly as fallen. But I remember remembering this statement. One should feel oneself fallen, but one should not be in a fallen state. I remember this. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj states this. So one should endeavor very sincerely to follow which will be pleasing to Lord. One should not act fallen in a fallen manner. Should desire to rise above. One should understand how displeasing it will be to the Lord to see me in a fallen state, how I am so lowly. So one should desire to rise above it. At the same time, one should not become proud that, oh, just see, I am so pure. That's also another pitfall, is it not? So Prabhupada says it's a nonsensical proposition to say that one commits the same sinful activities and keeps doing again and again and go again to excuse, oh Lord, please forgive me, please wash me off. One should not utilize these statements to cleanse one's sinful reactions. That will be another type of offense. That's most offensive, the seventh offense. One should not act in that manner. So there is another statement, another type of prayer, which is the last category. What was that? Lala Samai. So there is an example here given from Narada Pancharatra.
My dear Lord, when shall that day come when you will ask me to fan your body? And according to your pleasure, you will say, you just fan me in this way.
You just fan me in this way. Wonderful. This is the way I wanted, and you just fanned the way I wanted. So this is the way a devotee should desire, that he will please the Lord in the most appropriate. So like this, the prayers category is told how one should desire to personally serve the Lord in the role of servant, friend, or conjugal lover, have that direct association. So like this, like Lakshmi serves, she has great desire to serve Lord personally, is it not? To press the feet of the Lord, to offer that worship to the Lord's feet personally. So this is called Lalasa Mayi Vijnapti. So there is one more prayer Prabhupada mentions that just hearing these prayers itself is so elevating. My dear Lord.
My dear Lord, O lotus-eyed one, when will that day come when on the bank of the Yamuna I shall become just like a madman and continue to chant your holy name while incessant tears flow from my eyes? This is another perfectional stage.
So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also desired in Shikshashtaka.
Nayanam
Nayanam Galadashrudharaya Vadanam. Wonderful, rightly pointed out. When I don't have your darshan, oh my Lord, it seems like the kshana becomes like a yuga. Yugayitam nimeshena chakshusha pravrishayit. So all these strong feelings are actually very great spiritual stages, elevated stages. One should observe them, one should read them, one should develop a desire to cultivate them. Finally, Prabhupada says, in other words, can you read this? One should learn.
In other words, one should learn how to cry for the Lord. One should learn this small technique, and he should be very eager and actually cry to become engaged in some particular type of service. This is called laulyam. And such tears are the prize for the highest perfection. If one develops this laulyam or excessive eagerness for meeting and serving the Lord in a particular way, that is a prize to enter into the kingdom of God. Otherwise, there is no material calculation for the value of the ticket by which one can enter the kingdom of God. The only price for such entrance is this laulyam, lalasamai, or desire, and great eagerness.
So to the extent one treasures this kind of emotions, one desires them to attain them. To the extent one sees one's disqualification, one can actually plead to Lord to bless this, is it not? So the more one desires like this, the more actually Lord blesses. Prabhupada points that one should learn how to cry for the Lord. You see the great souls, Brahma, Indra, all these great learned people, Uddhava, all of them, when they came to Vrindavan, they cried. This cry, these tears were in great, celebration of mercy of Lord. Wow, Lord is so beautiful, so wonderful. How much he has laden love to his devotees, especially the Vrajavasis. What type of love they have towards Lord. I desire a fraction of them. Uddhava says, very soon we are going to celebrate the appearance of Srimati Radharani. Such kind of love, unparalleled love, unfathomable love she had. Seeing that Uddhava, he is desiring, my God, everywhere outside Vrindavan, we desire to bring in Lord in our consciousness, in our minds. But in Vrindavan, these ladies have so much Lord strongly in their consciousness, they are not able to just forget him. They are not able to, even for a moment, forget. Such kind of perfection. I desire their dust. How can I even dare to ask them? I will just wait at a corner. Whenever their feet out of their mercy touches my head, I consider it perfection. The Pulinda Stris of Braja also, they say, oh, we cannot go and demand, plead for the feet, the dust of the feet. When Lord walks in the forest of Braja, when his dust is there, we will take that and we will smear on our hearts to purify our hearts. Even many like this. The great souls, they all desire to stand there and take dust of the feet. So this kind of lalasa, this kind of lovely, excessive eagerness, this is the price to attain. The price to attain is not just a very strong, determined practice. That practice should be an expression of one's desire. The practice should be it should be pregnant with the desire. It should be full with that desire. I want to attain Lord. I want to serve Lord like this. What more it could be one's worthy attainment. So like this, one should strongly desire such kind of. This is the limb of prayers. The prayers, specifically submission. Now, another limb is coming. The number of the limb is, what is the, any of you remember the principal number?
This one is 36.
36. So reciting notable prayers. Notable prayers here means they are actually, there is difference here. They are actually reciting prayers which are standard prayers, notable prayers. Like here, it's specifically offered in the prayer. Example, the prayer of Bhagavad Gita, the prayers coming in the Devata Stuti, Garbha Stuti, which are like recited by great devotees, like Kunti Stuti. We also offer those prayers. Is it not? So all these are reciting notable prayers like that. Can someone else read this part according to great learned scholars?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I can read.
Yes. Read.
According to great learned scholars, the whole Bhagavad Gita contains many authorized prayers, especially in the 11th chapter, where Arjuna prays to the universal form of Lord. Similarly, in the Gautamiya Tantra, all the verses are called prayers. Again, in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are hundreds of prayers to the Lord. So devotee should select some of these prayers for his recitation. In Skanda Purana, the glories of these prayers are stated as follows. Devotees whose tongues are decorated always with prayers to Lord Krishna are always given respect even by the greatest saintly person and sages. And such devotees are actually worshipable by the demigods.
So even Devatas worship such people who recite prayers of God. When prayers of great devotees are chanted, Lord remembers, oh, my great devotee chanted this. In great love for them, he will also bless us with his mercy. Continue, those who are less intelligent.
Those who are less intelligent want to worship different demigods for some material gain rather than worship Krishna. But here it is stated that a devotee who is always engaged in offering prayers to the Lord is worshipable even by the demigods themselves. The pure devotees have nothing to ask from a demigod. Rather, the demigods are anxious to offer prayers to the pure devotees.
Demigods are anxious to offer prayers to pure devotees. So in the Narasimha Purana, Prabhupada quotes that any person who comes in front of the deity and chants prayers, the standard prayers, he is blessed with the freedom from all reactions of sinful activities and he will enter Vaikuntha Loka. So these two limbs, the limb number 35 and 36, are about prayers. The 35 was submission, the three types of prayers. Anybody recollect quickly the names of those three types? Please.
Veera.
In the Samprarthanatmika,
Dainavadika, and Lala Samit.
Lala Samit. Samprarthanatmika means? What does that mean? Just a line of explanation.
Healing, offering prayers.
Offering prayers. You can also add glorifying the Lord purely. It's a pure glorification. Dainya Bodhika.
Expressing their Fallen state.
Fallen. Dainya Bodhika. And last one, Lalasa Mayi or Laulya.
Desiring for some spiritual perfectional stage.
Perfection stage, like the desire. One expresses that spiritual desires. That's Vignapti. Now the next one was Stavapatha or reciting notable scriptural prayers. They are standard prayers like Gajendra Stuti, Prahlada Stuti, Garbha Stuti. Like one prayer of Shiva is offered often in the praise of Srimati Radharani, Radha Kripa Kataksha, or Radhikashtaka, which is a prayer by Shukadev Goswami. Like that. So, like this, there are so many prayers. One should take benefit of these prayers. We just read next two small limbs. They are small. We'll just complete with them. Partaking of prasada. Very important. We all love to do it. So there is a specific statement. Can you read, Prabhu? A person
who honors the prasada and regularly eats it, not exactly in front of the deity, along with the Charanamrita, the water offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, which is mixed with the seeds of Tulsi tree, immediately can achieve the results of pious activities which are obtained through 10,000 performance of sacrificial rites.
Yes, so much powerful. Just offering, just honoring the prasada. When he is eating prasada, if he can remember these glories, it becomes so powerful. So surely we love to eat, but when we honor prasad of the Lord, we should remember it as mercy of the Lord and honor. That will be greatly spiritually rewarding. The next one, 38, drinking Charanamrita. It's called Padya Asvada. Padya means that which has washed the feet of Lord. Padya. So Charanamrita, this is a very standard thing we see in every temple. They offer a tirtha or Charanamrita. Prabhupada says something about it. Read it, Prabhu. Charanamrita. This will be the last paragraph. We'll end with this. Read it.
Charanamrita is obtained in the morning while the Lord is being washed before dressing. Scented with the perfumes and flowers, with water comes gliding down through his lotus feet and is collected and mixed with yogurt. In this way, this Charanamrita not only becomes very tastefully flavored, but also has tremendous spiritual value. As described in Padma Purana, even a person who has never been able to give in a charity, who has never been able to perform great sacrifice, who has never been able to study the Vedas, who has never been able to worship the Lord, or in other words, even one who has never done any pious activities will become eligible to enter into kingdom of God if he simply drinks the Charanamrita, which is kept in the temple.
Wow.
In the temple, it is custom that Charanamrita be kept in the big pot. Devotees who come to visit and offer respects to deity take 3 drops of Charanamrita very submissively and feel themselves happily in transcendental bliss.
Wow, wonderful. So this was the item number. What was the number? Any recollect?
38.
38. So like this, we have covered several limbs. We just saw Swadha Naivedya, that is honoring the food or the bhoga of prasada of the Lord. Then there was Padya, that is Charanamrita. Every day morning when the deities are bathed, the water filled with yogurt and many things like that, Madhuparka, all that. One honors it with great respect. So powerful they are. So like this, one can, very simple activities, but they are so potent spiritually. The more we become aware of their glories, we can take with great shraddha. And they can be really not exaggerations, they could be factual for us. Thank you very much. We completed 38 principles. I am wondering why so slow it's going. I want to complete this before the Kartika Yatra, Krishna willing. Let's see how it happens. There is still considerable part left. Let's, Krishna willing, will complete. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, nectar of devotion ki jai. Thank you very much. Any comments or questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very
Prabhuji,
much.
if you have few minutes, can I talk to you after when finish the class?
Okay. Regarding some...
Well, if you have time, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we can do. In this meeting itself? Then, yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, now we will meet again next Friday. Today is Monday. Friday. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Shall I speak, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I just want to know, actually, my father-in-law is fourth stage cancer.
Okay.
So I just want to know what I can do for him. We don't know case 1 month or 2 months or 3 months.
So,
He's reading Gita, but what else I can do for him?
he's able to read Gita, is it? He's
Yes,
conscious.
Prabhuji, daily he is reading now.
Wonderful. So you, if possible, Mataji, you can consult surely Leelanand Prabhu and try to make efforts to bring him in association of some devotees. Devotees can come and talk to him. There could be some Hari Katha, there could be some Kirtan arranged. On his name, some spiritual activities can be offered or some specific sevas can be offered in the temple. Yes.
Okay.
So it's a very important service we can do. Actually, I am also in the last week was in contact with a person who was whose relative was in the end of life. We call it palliative care. The point is, the more we offer them spiritual opportunities, in fact, everyone understands that's the only benefit one can give at that situation. So you see the situation there, what could be possible? Like you are saying, he himself reads. If somebody can come and also accompany the reading, if somebody can come and do kirtana, some pravachana, some katha on his name, there could be some sevas, say in the deities, some deity seva or some brahmana bhojana, something like that. So that more and more spiritual credits he can gain by that. And if we can request some very elevated Vaishnavas, senior Vaishnavas to offer prayers for his spiritual progress, that's wonderful, nothing like that.
That
So
can
in
be
the
done.
scriptures, it is many places told that when great souls pray for someone's spiritual benefit, progress, God just can't help but bless.
Yes, Prabhuji, because I want his journey should not be much painful.
Yeah.
Whatever he has.
Yeah, surely. I'll see that how difficult it will be, how painful it will be. Nonetheless, we can offer this spiritual solace, that assurance. We should also talk to him that there is a branch of Bhaktivedanta Hospital, Mumbai. They offer what is called palliative care. Some devotees, you can talk to them. Actually, there needs to be some assurance to the person who is leaving body that you have done great.
Prabhuji, he is not in that conscious actually.
Oh, okay.
Like he is reading Gita, but if we say be ready for the death, so he is not in that conscious actually.
No. We need not tell that actually. We need not tell. The point what I'm telling is that we need to assure him that you have actually fulfilled a lot of things in life. There is nothing that you have left unfulfilled for us. Because a person usually may have some grits or some pain in his heart, some reservation, some holding back. When one releases that, actually, Father, you have blessed us actually. You have given all these things. There is nothing actually that you have not done. If we just assure him this thing, that will release so much of anxiety in his heart, and he will become so relieved. In one sense, he will also withdraw anything. He will also leave away anything he has held in his heart. So that thing. That is actually done through talking, assuring. You can. There are some nice books, and maybe at this point it's difficult to even take out time to read. Also, some nice books are there by ISKCON devotees on how to talk to a person who is in this last stage of life. So there are some. Surely these spiritual activities, Mataji, they are amazingly rewarding. at the same time to prepare that person's mental state in the sense of acceptance.
That is not there, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Actually, he is too much attached to the pupil and some material things, actually.
So we can assure, bring in all people whom he loves, give him that assurance that we will carry on your legacy. We need not talk that you have to leave or like. We just assure him that we are all happy, we will continue what the great work you have done, your contributions. We will live to your words. We'll continue the culture. All that, just that itself is greatly rewarding to a person. And slowly it takes time, and as time progresses, it's inevitable that he will accept it. But the more we show him that we all value so much, we love you so much, we treasure your contributions so much, to that extent, he will also accept it. It is surely painful, Mataji. We can never overstate it. And what we speak will be theory for us, but what that person is undergoing is
Yes, Prabhuji.
tremendous. So the more you bring in some elevated Vaishnavas who are there around in your community and talk, that is.
And I will talk to Linan and Prabhuji. Maybe
whoever your family considers very senior, elevated, Lilan and Prabhu or any other Vaishnava, try to bring them in. My sincere prayers. Actually, tomorrow, day after tomorrow is Sri Radhashtami. We'll surely offer prayers for your father-in-law.
thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. It's so great, fortunate position that he has gotten a daughter like you, who understands and wants to benefit him. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for your time. Hare Krishna.
Hare.